Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. John Owen talks about sports and movies. Thank you for checking out today's video. I always appreciate the support. Let's get into it. So today's video, I'm going to talk about two different sports topics. I'm going to talk about CP3 and the Suns finally getting to the finals, and the NIL ruling, name, image, likeness for NCAA athletes. They're finally going to get paid. But with all that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss out on any of the fun. Once again, I appreciate you guys checking it out. And let's get into the topic of the video. The first thing I'm going to talk about is Chris Paul finally getting to the finals. After 16 long years, so many teams, so many teammates, so many criticisms, so many playoff failures, Chris Paul is finally getting to the finals. And you could tell how much it meant to him to finally get to the finals just by his emotional reaction during the interview with Rachel. I don't remember her last name, but the Rachel reporter off of ESPN. I mean, Chris Paul, I'm so happy for him. Chris Paul definitely deserves a ring. He's an all-time great player. He's top 5 point guard all time. I firmly believe that. I believe that going into this series, and now into this playoffs. Now I definitely believe that. He just proved himself. He had 41 points in Game 6. Once the Clippers cut it to 7, he went on either a 14-0 run by himself or a 16-0 run by himself. I mean, he really put the game away. And no, it wasn't a carrying job by him. He wasn't carrying the Suns. Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton are both very, very, very good, even though I think DeAndre Ayton is like almost passively dominant. Like, I'm watching the games. I'm like, yeah, like DeAndre Ayton played good today. And I look at the stat sheet and I'm like, oh my God, he was a beast today. It's kind of funny. I don't really know what it is, and obviously Devin Booker is super talented, super special, great scorer. They got Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, Cameron Payne. They just needed a leader, and they got Chris Paul, one of the best leaders ever, undoubtedly, without a doubt, one of the best leaders ever. I'm just super happy for him. And as far as the Clippers, I mean, I'm not going to put much stock into it. I mean, they played out of their minds way better than without Kawhi than I imagined. So kudos to them. Kudos to Paul George. Playoff P. He really was playoff P. Vaccinated P, someone called him on there. That was funny. Someone called him Vaccinated P on Twitter one game, and I was like, oh, my God, that's hilarious. So shout out Paul George. Shout out to the Clippers for even making it this far. But this is really about Chris Paul and the Suns. They are really – I'm just really happy for Chris Paul, and I don't know. I don't know who I want to win. If the Hawks win that series, if Giannis doesn't come back, I'm rooting for the Suns 100%. But I do want Giannis to get a ring, but I want Chris Paul to get a ring too. So I don't know. It's going to be fun. Now, the thing I really, really want to talk about is this new NIL ruling. NIL, name, image, likeness. I'm just going to use the abbreviation from now on. So yesterday, the NCAA passed that starting today, July 1st, 2021, that NCAA athletes can monetize name, image, likeness through these following things. I'm reading off my phone. Hosting camps, private lessons, merchandise, podcasts, commercials, memorabilia, autographs, streaming, Substack/Patreon, Shopify, Etsy, small business, and social media. This is really more about basketball, NCAA basketball and NCAA football. I mean, let's be honest. Those are the money generators. Traditionally, the basketball programs, the football programs make so much money that they fund all of the other sports teams. They do. It's the truth. So really, this is more about college football and college basketball, which is fine because that's what's popular in America. That's what's relevant. That's honestly really what 90% of Americans care about. Yeah, there are hardcore college baseball fans, and I appreciate those guys for liking that. But I'm really more worried about football and basketball. And I think the people that are going to make the most out of this are superstars. I'm talking Zion Williamson's at Duke, Jalen Suggs at Gonzaga this past year, Trevor Lawrence at Clemson, Devontae Smith, any Alabama star. And I'm super glad for these guys. These guys, if they shouldn't be, and I understand that they get lots of scholarships and everything like that. Like, I get that. But I just don't – I never understood them not being able to use other avenues to make revenue. That was the main thing that really irked me, was that they couldn't use other like I get if you didn't want to necessarily pay them per se, like, hey, like here's your salary for coming to the school or whatever. But I get that. But like I get not doing that. But I never got how like they couldn't stream or like have a small business or whatever. Like that's what really hurt me. So I'm excited for those guys that can now use that, like the not as popular players, to use that to make some money while they're in college. Now, of course, this totally 100%, I know we already got it confirmed, but this just streamlines NCAA football coming back, so I'm all in on that. I am really nervous, though. As we know, there is a huge power gap in college football. I wouldn't say there's a power gap in college basketball, but there's definitely a recruiting gap, right? I think we can all agree with that. And I unfortunately think these things are only going to widen that. So I don't think that's good in that aspect. I mean, between this and the transfer portal, the NCAA is going in a really, really murky waters. I really do think that. I think that they're going somewhere where I don't know if they truly know the consequences of their actions, but that's fine. But, I mean, think about it. If I'm a 5-star recruit and I got all these offers from everywhere, why am I not going to Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, Notre Dame, Oregon, these powerhouses, Georgia, LSU? I'm never going to go to a small school. These small schools that are not traditional powerhouses are never going to get big-time recruits. They're just not going to. Trevor Lawrence could have been just as good as he was at Clemson at Colorado State, right? Okay, and let's say under the same modification, let's say the NIL rules were around when Trevor Lawrence was in college, right? I'm just going to use it as my hypothetical example. The money gap between what he would have made at Colorado State based off of his NIL versus what he would have made at Clemson off of his NIL is astronomically different. I would assume hypothetically, at least, right? Those small schools are never going to get these big-time guys. They're just never going to, and the power gap is going to increase in college football. It is. The best recruits already all go to Alabama. They already all go to Clemson, Ohio State, Georgia, LSU, Oregon. They already all go to those schools. It's only going to be more. Nobody will ever make as much at, let's say, Boston College as they will at Ohio State. They're just not going to, all right? And I get some guys probably aren't all in it for the money, but, I mean, you're going to go there anyways, right? You might as well make a lot of money off of it. So I am really nervous about that. College basketball, I don't think the gap is quite as bad because of the tournament, so everyone always has a chance to shine, like everyone gets to play on the big – or a lot more teams get to play on the big stage, so I get that. And recruiting is not quite as dominant in college basketball as it is football. Like Alabama gets 4 straight number 1 recruiting classes. They're going to win 3 national championships, right? Duke got the 3 best recruits in Zion and RJ Barrett and Cam Reddish's class, and they were they lose in the second round or something, round 32. I don't think they made it to the Sweet 16. So my point is, I'm not as worried about it from a power standpoint in college basketball, but I am worried about it from a recruiting standpoint. I do think, however, this will benefit college basketball in the aspect that there's really no point in going to the G League now, right? Because you're going to get paid a lot if you go to Kentucky or if you go to Duke or Kansas or wherever. You're going to make a lot of money. Plus, it's a better stage, it's a bigger stage. So going into the G League, and I think the NBA would rather them not go to the G League. Or college basketball, obviously college basketball would rather have these 5-star recruits go to their powerhouses, right? Like that makes sense. But I think it's going to be better for the NBA because I don't really know how the G League experiment is going to work. I don't think we're going to have enough sample size to really determine because with this NIL thing, I really don't see why anyone would go to the G League. But that's just my opinion on that. So basically, I'm super happy for Chris Paul. I'm happy for the players of college athletics, and especially like all the people that maybe don't play football and basketball. They can make a little money off of their name, image, likeness. I'm super excited for NCAA football to come back, but I am worried from an institutional standpoint how this will affect the NCAA, but only time will tell. So thank you for watching today's video. I always appreciate when you tune in. Make sure you check out the like content. Like I said earlier, like, comment, subscribe. It doesn't take very long, and it really helps me out. With all that being said, I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. Have a great day.